ANC members under the banner of Kgalema Disputed NEC list have approached the coast to challenge the party's branch nomination lists. They filed an urgent court application in the High Court in Johannesburg to compel the ANC to provide raw data of all branch nominations for the NEC. They want the matter heard in court by Wednesday. If the data is not made available by the start of the ANC National Conference on Friday, they want the matter to be placed on the agenda of the said conference and for it to be heard by plenary before election of officials. The ANC's Electoral Committee Secretary, Chief Livhuwani Matsila, joins us now. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News. Just give us more insight into the nature of this court application, what people are seeking there.
As you rightfully say, these comrades are seeking an order which compels us to give them the list, or actually to publish the list of the top 200 nominees for the additional members. And they are, invoking section 8.5 of our rules. So if you look at that section, the issue is that have you not published a list of the 200 nominees? We have. And we have finished them with that list. And we are going to publish the final list probably by the end of the day or early tomorrow morning. Because the final list can only be published when you have done the vetting and when you have processed those that have declined nominations, and then you have taken into account all that those that have accepted the nominations. So it's work in progress, like we indicated to them, but last week we did finish them with the list as they are. And when we update the list, we'll then publish that on the ANC website and then send the final list to the branches of the ANC in terms of that rule 8.5. So we don't think that this requires a court application, to be honest.
Is that the only thing that they're seeking? My understanding is they wanted more transparency around the list and they wanted much more data.
No, the transparency is there. As you know, the process starts from the branches themselves. It goes to the provincial offices for safekeeping. We send the agency there to go and capture in front of the provincial secretaries and regional secretaries. I don't think you can be much more transparent than that. You announce the list. We have done that for the nominees of the top 6. And we've also done for the top 200. Now it's actually 240 that we're going to publish in the ballot. So I don't think there is more transparency you can require unless you have got specific concerns on specific nominees and then you wish their data to be announced. We can, if you are a candidate and you feel that you want to understand your numbers, we are able to pull that out for you and give it to you. So the lists have been published. In our opinion, we have given it to them. So we've complied actually fully with 8.5 of our rules. So and now you see, this is an internal matter that we are not refusing with information. So if we give these comrades information, they should come back to us to say we're not satisfied with these aspects of your information, and that has not happened.
Okay. So
therefore, in our view, they have not exhausted internal remedies available to them within the African National Congress, and we want to to urge them that they should talk to us more, indicate where they think they've got concerns with the list that have been finished to them.
Yeah. So if you're saying there's a misunderstanding of the African National Congress's constitution and what this didn't need a court order, this needed dialogue, why is dialogue being held through the courts and through the public broadcaster as opposed to in the ANC, especially because there's always a thing that ANC matters should be dealt with internally, not externally?
Yeah, that is the strangest part, and we can't not allow them to court if they want to go to court, but they should talk to us more.
No, but then the part that I'm also asking is about we having an interview here, ventilating the issues, as opposed to, I'm trying to find out what kind of interactions you've had with them to the point where you're not having these discussions there, you're having them here.
No, the issue, that's what I'm saying. The gap is that they ask for the lists. We tell them we're still working on the list because we're doing the vetting and processing the declines and the acceptances. Now, whilst we are doing that, we finish them with the list as they are. Then they don't come back to us and say, we are not satisfied with the list because of the following reasons. They simply appeal to the NEC and state the same reasons of 8.5. And as I'm saying, with 8.5, we have complied. We have a list, we have seen the list. We went to the media and had 2 media conferences announcing lists. That is executing Rule 8.5, which they cite. You see, and that's why we're saying they're citing out of context. And what confuses most comrades in terms of these processes is that they are governed by the ANC Constitution. So in terms of that Constitution, for you to be able to be in the top 240 that we now talk about, you ought to be nominated by a province. in the case of additionals, to be nominated by a province, you ought to be amongst the top 80 nominees in a province. That's when your numbers are then collated. Okay. And we derive that top 240 from that kind of an exercise. So if you don't see your name, it means you have not been in the top 80 of any province. And that's the unfortunate part, that some people are very confused to say, where are my nominations? But if you are not satisfied with that, and you come back to us and say, I'm sorry and so, I think I've been nominated, can I see my data? We can give it to you.
Chief Livhuwani Matsila, who is the ANC's Electoral Committee Secretary, just joining us there, talking about that court action ahead of the ANC National Conference. Of course, the SABC will be covering that widely. Do stay with us for that.